Hi y'all, Easy Slider here. Regulations to marry your long distance relationship partner in the Philippines. What a brave boy you are. Remember I've been trying to supply you with the most up-to-date information, but it's possible that sometimes things can get overlooked, so be sure to double check everything and make sure that you don't need to add anything to what I'm telling you. Just double check it and make sure. In the past videos, we've been focused on marrying your long distance relationship partner and bringing her to the United States. But let's don't forget the other side of the coin, marrying in the Philippines. There certainly are requirements there, and they're very different than here. So to be fair, let's also consider the differences. To make sure, though, it is a lot shorter time to marry someone in the Philippines than it is to bring them back to the United States and marry them. That's for sure. But today we're going to look into marriage in the Philippines. I think a good place to start is going to be at the most simple level. The Philippines has a strict family code, which means that same-sex marriages cannot happen, all right? The requirements for marriage in the Philippines can make the process a little tough, especially if it's a Catholic wedding taking place in a Catholic church, but we'll discuss all of that in a little while. Marriage in the Philippines can make it easier to get a permanent resident visa there, so hey, that's good. Marriage in the Philippines is a lot cheaper because the paperwork is less expensive. That's another good point, And it is a lot faster. It's certainly not the years that it takes to do everything here in the United States. A lot faster than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the regulations. We're going to take a look at the documents required for the Filipino. I'm going to list a few of these here, and then when I finish, and I'll be doing this throughout the video, I'll be stopping and listing on a card where you can look at it and copy it down, and then when I give you a little bit of time to look, I'll come back and we'll move on to the next part of the video, so just keep that in mind. Parental consent is one of the things that stood out in my mind most to me, and it's the United States. There is a time that you need a consent for a girl to get married, depending on her age, but when she reaches 21 years old, there's no more consent required. In the Philippines, it's a little different. Between the ages of 18 and 21, parental consent, I'll get that right in a minute, parental consent is required, but there's no marriage below 18 years old. For those between the ages of 22 and 25 years old, an affidavit of parental advice, it can either be written or a sworn acknowledgement or statement by the parents. However, anyone over 22 can still get married without parental acknowledgement, or so at least that's what I understand. Now, let's talk about the requirements of the man. This is the start, so you can see it takes a little bit of time, and the traditions are different here, so we're going to talk about that a little bit more and try to help you avoid some of the confusion that goes along with it. Now, if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that I'm trying to give you quality information that will help you on your long distance journey. It's confusing. Sometimes it's hard to find. So it's my goal to be able to help you break that down a little bit, but I need your help. If you will, please just like, subscribe, and help me get this out to more people, because believe it or not, there's probably a lot of people that you know that you have no idea that they're interested in a long distance relationship and starting one, or they already have one going and you may not know anything about it. So you could be helping them out too. All right. When everything's ready, then you need to apply for a license, and it needs to be completed by the bride and the groom, and the fee paid. The fee paid. You knew I was going to say that, didn't you? All right. The next step would be to attend a pre-marriage counseling class. Now, they go under several different names, but it's all the same thing. The union, a civil union, is going to be a lot easier, and it's going to be faster. The course only takes about 1 day. When you completed the class, you'll receive a certificate of assistance for marriage counseling. Are you having fun yet? All right. Now it's time to make the decision. Are you going to be married in a church, or is it going to be a civil wedding? Either way, you have to find an officiant. If you don't know one, then the civil registrar can assign you one. For a church wedding, you're going to need either a priest or an authorized minister or a registered church pastor for a church wedding. Remember, a church wedding is a lot different than civil union. You're going to need 2 witnesses, and it's a pretty good idea to back yourself up all the time and have 3 witnesses instead of 2. Be on the safe side. When the marriage is finished, you're going to need to register your marriage contract, and that makes it legal. You have to carry everything to the local civil registrar's office and do that, okay? To register, you're going to need your marriage license, you're going to need to fill out a certificate of marriage and a copy of your prenuptial agreement if you have one. It's not required, but some people have those. And everything is going to be submitted to the local registrar's office for endorsement and submission to the Philippine Statistic Authority, or a lot of people call it the PSA. When it's all finished, you're going to receive a duly registered marriage certificate. That's a mouthful, isn't it? This document, it proves that your union is legal and it's valid. Hey, when you go down, remember to carry all the paperwork you're going to need, where you won't have to be going back and forth and back and forth. That's what I always do, is always forget something. Since the majority of the Filipino community is Catholic, I want to touch on the requirements of the Catholic Church just a little bit. The requirements were still in effect in 2023, but always on everything that you do here, it's a good idea to check with the church or check with people that you need to verify that the requirements are still required, and these are the things you need to do. Also, you're going to find that there may be additional documents that might be required also. If it's a mixed marriage, and what I mean by that is a Catholic and a non-Catholic wanting to get married in a Catholic church, the following is probably going to apply also. Getting married in the Philippines can be challenging. We know that. Just don't rush it. Don't get all excited and get in too big a hurry. But you're going to find out it sure is a lot faster than here in the States, where when you're doing everything, it can take a year or 2 to get it accomplished. It's going to be a lot quicker than that. It's different, so make sure you cover all the bases with the proper paperwork. Now, don't get surprised if you need more paperwork, or you have to go to another city to get something approved. I understand that can happen frequently. Sometimes, it helps to remember that you're on Filipino time. So expect Murphy's Law to try to be a part of your marriage entourage. The old slow it down and mess it up, Murphy's Law. Always, don't forget. All right. I hope you're better armed now with a brief overview of everything, and hopefully it's going to assist you and make your efforts a little easier. Above all, everything you do, just relax and enjoy it, because it's the first step in a wonderful life. It really is. One final thought worth mentioning is in the Philippines, they do recognize common law wives. Yeah, they do. Now, this is basically if you've been living with somebody for 5 years as husband and wife, slam bam, thank you ma'am, hello wife. There's a little more to it than that, but you can be married. If you don't have any legal restrictions, for instance, like you're already married, then that'll do the job. But check it out for more details, because that is kind of interesting. On our next video, we're going to be discussing how will a Western man be treated in the Philippines when he goes to meet his long-distance relationship partner. What do you think? Tell me about it. Well, let's just slide on over and find out. Come on.